Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Just Add Ginger and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm going to jump straight into things today because Eric is napping and he could wake up at any moment, so I don't want to ramble on and then I run out of time. Today's video I'm going to be talking through some of Eric's current favourites. It's a bit of an odd video for me to do. I've never done anything like this before, but he is now 26 and a bit months, so he's got quite a well-formed personality. He knows what he likes and what he doesn't like, and just for anybody out there who's curious about what that is or are looking for ideas to, for new toys or books or anything like that to introduce your toddlers to, then I thought this video might be quite helpful. So before I waffle on too much, as per the norm, let's get straight into it. So the first thing I'm going to focus on is books. Eric loves books. He absolutely loves having stories read to him. He loves looking at books. He loves reading books to himself in his own little toddler language. So at the moment, these are the books that he's gravitating towards the most. The first one is a bit of a random one. We picked it up from the library, so it's not technically one of our books, but he really likes it, and it is Oi Frog by Kes Gray and Jim Field. It's, I mean, to me it's a little bizarre. It's about a frog and a cat, and the frog wants to sit anywhere but on a log. And the cat basically tells him he can't because in essence frog rhymes with log. So it has got like a kind of educational element in terms of rhyming, but it's just a little bit weird. For me anyway. I don't know why Eric likes it, but he really does. So that is the first one. It's not ours, like I said, it's the library, so I'll have to go back at some point. But I may purchase it if he continues to like it as much as he does. The next book is Keith the Cat with the Magic Hat. This was a birthday present from a family member and Eric absolutely loves this book. It's really bright, it's really colourful. It's a Sue Hendra book, who I believe is quite a popular children's author. It's just a really nice story. It's about a cat who pretends to have a magic hat and a variety of different things happen. And yeah, it's a really sweet story. It's a great length for bedtimes, nap times. This is one of the books he asks for at nap time. He will point to it and say cat, and that means he wants Keith the Cat read to him. So that's been a huge success and one I definitely recommend if you're looking for a new bedtime / nap time book. The next two are Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler books. For a long time the Gruffalo was our main book of choice. That's the only book we'd read to Eric at bedtime. He's kind of gone off that a bit, which is understandable because it was continuous for like a good few months. But now we are on Room on the Broom. I love this one. I think it's brilliant, and Eric's at the point with his language now where he can tell you what bits and pieces the witch loses. So if I leave a bit of a pause, he will say hat or bow or point out what animals appear when. So bird, dog, frog. The illustrations by Axel Scheffler are just beautiful, and again it's a really good length for bedtime or nap time. He also really enjoys watching the TV adaptation that the BBC did. It's on Amazon Prime, so we have that on sometimes. But his favourite of the moment has kind of surpassed all stories in terms of what he likes to listen to is Zog. Zog, I hadn't heard of before. I mean, I had heard of it, but I didn't know the story. And Eric absolutely loves it. Again, illustrations by Axel Scheffler. This one I do find a little bit difficult to read because the font for me is a bit small to read upside down, which I have to do, but the illustrations themselves are just beautiful, and it's a really lovely story about a dragon who is determined to win a golden star, meets a girl who kind of helps him along the way with various different things, and then at the end he goes off to pursue his own dream. So that's a big success. Room on the Broom is a big success as well. These were both presents from family members, and it just seems that Julia Donaldson is kind of Eric's favourite at the moment, and I can't tell you why because he can't tell me why, but he really likes the books. He really likes the little animated shorts that the BBC brought out. He really likes watching those. He likes watching The Highway Rat at the moment. We don't have the book of that, but I think my parents are going to be bringing that when they come next as a present, so I'm sure he's going to be made up with that. But yeah, he is a massive book fan. We've read to him since he was tiny. I always encourage him to look at books or to read books. Ryan's read him The Hobbit at bedtime when he was smaller, so it's really nice that he's so into books, and those at the moment are his favourites. I thought I'd talk about Eric's favourite food. Now, Eric, I'm really sorry as well, I am so out of breath, I am so lacking in space right now, it's ridiculous, so bear with me while I try and catch my breath intermittently. Eric was a really good eater when he started to eat properly. We tried on lots of different foods, there wasn't a lot he didn't like. Then he started to get fussier, and now he can talk, or he's learning to talk. He's got opinions which make it really difficult to always cater for what he wants. So at the moment, Eric really enjoys specific things at specific times of the day. So in the morning, he'll wake up, we'll come downstairs to have breakfast, and he will usually ask for toast or a pancake, and he can say those two words, so that makes it easier for us to give those to him. But he loves having some kind of breaded or breakfast bready type good as the first thing he eats. So at the moment we're on waffles. He can't say waffle, but he will run over to where the toaster is and point up at it and kind of make all these cute little noises that imply that he wants a waffle if there's no pancakes or toast. So he loves waffles. He also still loves bananas, although not as much as he used to. I feel like the breaded goods have overtaken the bananas. So bananas are still there, but they're kind of fading into the background a little bit. However, he loves apples, and this kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know where he decided he liked apples. We didn't really give him a lot before, but he really likes them. And the funny thing is, he will not eat one if it's cut up. He will have a nervous breakdown if you offer him an apple and you cut it up. He likes to eat apples whole, which isn't a problem because I'm always here to supervise him, or Ryan is, or whoever. But it's just one of those funny quirks, and I don't know where it's come from. I also don't mind it because it keeps him occupied for longer. This morning he had an apple and he was eating it for on and off about an hour, and he was perfectly happy. He didn't want anything else. So that's kind of a funny thing. It's nice that he likes fruit so much, but I'm not sure if I was two, I would choose an apple as my main fruit of choice. So whatever makes him happy is fine by me. He also really likes to drink water. We still use the Tommy Tippy kind of, they're not sippy cups, they've got a flip out straw. He seems happy drinking out of those, although he can drink out of a sports style bottle and a cup. Now it's just a bit messier. Water's his main drink of choice. He does drink a little bit of milk, although he's not the biggest fan of milk still, but he gets calcium in other different forms, cheese, yogurt, he likes to eat those. And yeah, when it comes to lunch and dinner, we're just still winging it. There's nothing that stands out. He never asks for anything. His appetite seems to wane as we get further along throughout the day, but at the moment he seems to be a good little eater still, and those are his favourite things to chomp on throughout the day. The next and kind of final thing I wanted to talk about is Eric's favourite toys. Now that the weather is starting to get warmer, although it's absolutely pissing it down outside today, now that the weather has started to get warmer and slightly drier, Eric loves to be outside. So most of our time, whenever we can, is spent out in the garden, and Eric thrives out there. He absolutely loves it. I mean, if it's a bit wet, I do put the puddle suit on him and we still go outside, even if I get absolutely soaked. It's not the end of the world if he's having a good time. He loves pottering around. We've got so much equipment out there now for him to play with. It's like he's got his own playground, and that was kind of what I wanted to do, especially for this summer. The baby is going to be born when the weather is at probably its hottest, and we will need to be outside, but I don't feel comfortable with the idea of taking Eric to the park because he is a bit of a flight risk, and I will have another little child to look after. So outside is like Eric's playground of dreams, and he loves being out there. We can be out there for absolutely ages. He's got little chalks he can draw with. He's got slides, he's got a climbing frame. We've put his toy kitchen out there, so it's a mud kitchen. He's got a cozy coupe, he's got gardening stuff. He's absolutely in his element when he's outside, and at the weekend, whenever we can, we try and take him somewhere where he can have that freedom to roam and explore. So if we do have to choose indoor activities, there are a few things that Eric does like to do. And the first one, which is probably the thing that will keep him entertained for the longest amount of time, is colouring in. And I say colouring in very loosely because Eric is only 2, so at the moment it is more exploring with mark making. Sometimes he will have a go at drawing shapes, and you can kind of make out what they are, but mark making is probably the right thing to call it. So he has gone through a few colouring books. He's had a Peppa Pig one, Trolls, a Frozen one, and he will just, I mean, sometimes he goes away and comes back to it, but he will, for quite an extended period of time, colour things in, try and stay within the line sometimes, although most of the time it is just a scribble. Sometimes he likes it when we draw him things, especially if he can identify what they are, and he'll tell us what they are and then have a go at colouring them in. But I really like the fact that he's experimenting with mark making. He likes to do it independently. He's very protective over his crayons. He doesn't like it if he's in the colouring zone, you try and colour in with him. He will push your arm out the way, but that's okay. As long as he's happy, then I'm happy. That's the main thing that he likes to do if we're housebound. Toys still get emptied out, shelves get emptied. You know, he will potter around with a few toys, but he will always come back to colouring in. In terms of television stuff, I do let him have screen time. I'm not gonna lie. Some days I have to let him have a lot of it because I don't want to go anywhere, especially feeling so bowling ball-esque as I am at the moment. It's sometimes quite difficult. So when we do have screen time, I've already said he likes the Julia Donaldson TV adaptations that are on Amazon Prime. He also likes to watch the most random crap that I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if it's related to words that he knows. So if he sees something on the screen, he will tell me the word, and he's just telling me the word, and then he wants to watch it because he knows the word. But some of these things are really weird. Like, there's a show about a monkey mechanic on Amazon Prime that he's loving at the moment. What else? oh, anything to do with Baby Shark. He can't say shark, but he says Mark. And Mark means shark, so he'll ask for Mark, which I think is hilarious. But he likes watching Mark. He is quite into Paw Patrol sometimes. Sometimes if I say, do you want the doggies? He'll kind of point to where the doggies are on the screen. We've got a lot of things on Prime, is what he wants to watch. So he'll point to the little thumbnail, I suppose, and tell me. But yeah, I want him to watch Disney stuff. I've tried to get him to enjoy Disney. He did to a point, but now he's gone off it. He likes the music rather than the films. Random stuff, plus Julia Donaldson things. Oh, and also he quite likes, which I quite like, the fact that he likes watching this, Yakety on CBBS, I think it is. They're only short little episodes, but they encourage vocabulary, and like he tries to say some of the words that he knows, and sometimes he does know the word for the episode, so we'll say it when it appears on screen. So that's quite a good one that I like the fact that he enjoys that. But all the other ones are a bit weird, but I just go with the flow, whatever keeps him happy at the moment, because we are terrible twos in the throes of, so tantrums do happen over the what I think are most ridiculous things, but to him it's the be all and end all. So I just go with the flow, try and keep him happy, and deal with the random crap that we watch on the TV. I think that is pretty much everything I can tell you in terms of Eric's favourites. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I apologise if it's been all over the place and a bit scatty, but A, I'm out of breath, and B, I'm working on a bit of a time crunch because it is Eric's nap time, so I've had to rush a little bit. I hope it hasn't been too distracting. If you did enjoy this video and you'd like to see more like it, please give it a big thumbs up and let me know your thoughts. If you have any other video recommendations, let me know in the comments, and if you're not already subscribed, hit that red subscribe button and stay with me. I'd love to have you on this journey, and I'll see you next time.